Okay, we're going to start out with some basic 2-5-1 ideas. Some of these things you can use over, rock songs, things like that. We'll do some 2-5s in the key of G, so it's going to be A minor 7 to D7. Now, what I will do is I will play very slowly some riffs that I want you to figure out. I'll play like a little etude or something, a little exercise. So let's see here. So I want you to play behind me like this. Fifth fret. Here we go. 1, 2.
What was the other chord?
D9.
Oh.
Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Things that I'm doing here are, concerning arpeggios and things. Okay, a few different things. When I'm playing over like 2-5-1 progressions, I'm thinking different things. Let's say when I'm playing on an A minor 7 chord, I might be thinking an A minor 7 arpeggio. I might think a C major 7 arpeggio. Right? I might think E minor 7. Okay? Or I might think A Dorian.
How did you come up with all those?
They're all from the key of G.
Key of G. Okay.
Yeah.
Are those like from the chord scale? Or?
Yeah, the chord scale. In the key of G, you've got in A Dorian the chords are A minor 7, B minor 7, C major 7, D7, E minor 7, F sharp minor 7 flat 5, and G major 7. Those are the 7 chords. Those are really the 7 chords from the key of G. But A minor 7, the key of A Dorian is the same as the key of G. But the ones that sound really good on A minor 7 are the one off the root, A minor 7, the one off the third, C major 7, the one off the fifth, E minor 7. Make sense?
Yep.
You could play G major 7 too. That's getting very extended sounding. I'll play them again. So you play the A minor 7 chord, and I'll play the chords. Okay, I'll play the arpeggios. Turn up a little bit. C major 7. Play it again? No, I mean you play the chord again. And E minor 7, play it again. So, I mean, I'm not just thinking that. I mean, I'm playing a lot of different things. I'm using a lot of chromaticism too. I might play like I've got bum, bum, bum. Now, really what I want to key in on is the changes between the chords, okay? I want to key in on things like going to the F sharp. Really big difference between D9 and A minor 7 is that G goes to F sharp on the D7 chord, right? So I'm going to key in my lines on that. Stuff like that. There's a good example. Play the chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see where I end up on the third and the D7 chord?
Right. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm always making my lines sound. They always have to sound like they're resolving, like they're going somewhere. If I didn't play things in the right order, If I played, then I'd sound like most guitar players.
Right.
Now, here's the whole key to jazz, basically. On strong beats, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say you're playing eighth notes in your line. On the strong beats, the first, second, third, and fourth beats, you want to play chord tones. On the weak beats, you can play chord tones or non-chord tones or passing tones. Okay? On the D7 chord, I'm going to play D, F sharp, A, C on the strong beats.
Which would be
Those are the chord tones.
chord tone.
Yeah. On the weak beats, I'll do passing tones, I'll do non-chord tones. Now that's not a hard and fast rule, but it's pretty much generally a rule. Almost all bebop lines that are really sound good, that's what they're doing. And I don't know, for some reason you don't find that in books that people explain that, but this is like a very, very basic explanation of how it works. A very basic concept. So when you're using chromaticism, it's the same thing. That chromatic note, that note's not in the scale, but it comes on a weak beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, passing tone, downbeat, and then a chord tone. See what I... That's a good line right there. A minor 7 or D7, that exact lick would work. So
That lick would work over D7 too?
Yeah. Because I'm really thinking in my brain, A minor 7, D7, A minor 7, D7. I'm thinking just going back and forth from one chord to the next.
Right.
A minor 7, D7, D7. Sometimes I hold on the D7 chord a couple times, you know what I mean? But I'm still thinking just A minor 7 or D7 the whole time.
Right.
Play the chords, go like this.
All right.
Just stay on A minor 7.
By that
1,
speed.
2, 3, 4. D7, 2, 3, 4. That's kind of the line I play. I try to remember it exactly, but it works over both chords.
Yeah.
Okay?
That works over
Now,
both chords.
once you start learning these lines off the tape, you'll start getting a hang for where all the chromaticism comes in. Once you get it in your ear, you don't even have to really think about it, but having examples. It's all about examples. Learning how to play jazz is learning a language, and you basically have to learn phrases.
The other thing,
Now, another thing you can do is you can use diatonic licks without playing any chromaticism. Okay? So, on an A minor 7. Just do that for me. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all diatonic.
you're doing some arpeggios.
But I mean diatonic. I mean I'm not using
from the 7-tone scale.
yeah, nothing out of the scale. No chromatic notes at all.
Right.
I'm not even doing arpeggio. Well, I'm doing kind of arpeggio. I'm sorry.
That's kind of a sequence.
Yeah, it's a sequence.
Yeah.
Makes sense? Now, if you start incorporating the one chord in there, let's say you're actually playing over songs like standards, right? Then you start having to resolve these lines. So, I might play. That's like a Charlie Parker line.
Is it cool? Is that a Parker lick?
Yeah. So how would you go?
G major 7.
Yeah, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay?
Alright.
Now you might go like this. That's another one.
With those same three chords.
Yeah, same
Is
three
that
chords.
2-5-1 then? Cool.
Whatever. You can end on G major 7. That's like a Wes Montgomery type thing. Now. Yeah. With a different ending. So on and so forth. When you start to add different notes, different scales, like on the 5 chord, there's a bunch of different scales other than Lydian that work on the 5 chord for 2-5-1 progressions. Anytime you're getting a 5-to-1 cadence, like D7 to G major 7, you can alter the 5 chord to increase the tension and make it lead more to the 1 chord by using flat 9s, sharp 9s, flat 5s, or sharp 5s. Okay? The flat 9 adds tension, D7 flat 9, because the flat 9 wants to resolve to the 5th of the G major 7. The sharp 9 wants to resolve to the major 7. The flat 5 wants to resolve to the 9 of the G major 7. And the sharp 5 could resolve to the 9 or to the 3rd. Make sense? So 5, 1, 5.
Was that all 5-1?
Yeah.
What you just did, all those three examples?
Yeah. I was just doing D7 flat 9 to G major 7, D7 sharp 9
So
to
these
G
are
major 7,
substitutions right here.
D7 flat 5 flat 9 to G major 9, then D7 sharp 5 sharp 9 to D major. Okay, now in your lines you want to have the same type of resolutions. If I'm going to use a flat 5 or a sharp 5 or flat 9, like I mean I might go whatever, you know. That's using like a D7 D half whole diminished scale. It's a D dominant diminished scale on the D7
That's
flat
good.
9 chord. It's a half whole diminished. Start on the root and play the half whole half whole. Play D7 flat 9. Play the chord.
D7 flat 9.
Yep. Up half step.
Oh, right here. Right here.
Yeah. Play it louder.
So that scale will works best over that chord.
Yeah, that's a scale. So I can use that in a line. I can go something in A Dorian, D dominant diminished,
Right.
G Ionian. 2, 3, 4. And I'll do a variation. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another variation. 2, 3, 4. Another variation. 3, 4. Another variation. 3, 4. Another variation. 3, 4. Another variation. 3, 4. That's what I want to do. I mean, I can go do variations all day on this.
All those variations. What kind of variations were those?
I was going A Dorian to D dominant diminished to G Ionian.
But just different examples.
Different examples. I played the A Dorian example was exactly the same. So that for the A minor 7, I played the same lick every time. The only time I varied it was on the D7 chord. That way you can notice the examples. I want you to go through and write down all those licks, memorize them.
I memorize all those.
Yeah. Okay, because that's an example of how to use that D dominant diminished scale. Dominant diminished means it's a diminished scale that you use on dominant chords, which is a half whole diminished scale. On diminished chords, you use the whole half diminished scale. It's alternating whole step and half steps. On dominant chords, you start with the half step. Diminished chords, you start with the whole step. Okay, it's a symmetrical scale. Now, another scale that you can use is the altered dominant scale. That goes over. The thing about the dominant diminished scale, that has flat 9, sharp 9, and flat 5. Those are the alterations in it. Okay? The altered dominant scale has flat 9, sharp 9, flat 5, and sharp 5. So the big difference between the dominant diminished scale and the altered dominant scale is that the altered dominant scale has a sharp 5th, whereas the dominant diminished scale has a natural 5th and a natural 6th, or the 13th. So if you had a 13 flat 9 chord, you could only use the dominant diminished scale because the altered dominant scale does not have the 13th in it. Okay? Make sense?
Yeah.
Now here's an example of using the altered dominant scale. 2, 5, 1. Okay, 2, 3, 4. Again, 2, 3, 4. Again, 2, 3, 4. Again, 2, 3, 4. I'll give you some other examples of different position. 2, 3, 4. Another one. 2, 3, 4. That was kind of lame. Let me do that again. 2, 3, 4. That's cool. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Again, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Two, three, four. That's kind of lame, I don't like that. Again, 3, 4. That's pretty good. So on and so forth. You just keep playing these. Or you get more complicated and play double time using the altered dominant scale. I can go like this, like. Okay, 2, 3, 4. I kind of screwed it up a little bit. Let me play a little bit slower. 3, 4. Okay, 2, 3, 4. No, go a little bit slower. Like
Okay, sorry.
3, 4. Okay, another one. 2, 3, 4. That's kind of lame. 2, 3, 4. Two, 3, 4. That's good. Here's another one. 3, 4, 1. I forget what I played. 3, 4, 1. No, 4, 1. I forget what I played. No. Something like that. Something like that. 1. Something like that. Ooh, that's good. So, 1. 1. Something like that.
Yeah.
You figure that out. Sounds pretty cool.
that you just did there?
On what?
The
G major
last
7?
note. That
Music.
note. What was that?
Lydian's a sharp 4. Sharp 4.
D5.
Yeah, that gives you a
Oh, it's
really
Lydian,
modern,
right.
really modern sound. You can't just run the scales. You gotta play real even.
Yeah.
Play G major 7 chord. Pretty, right?
Yeah.
Play it again.
What was that you did that sequence?
Doing an A triad,
Uh huh.
G triad, A,
Okay.
G.
Let's stay in G and G. And how did you know that word?
They both come. G Lydian comes out of the key of D. Okay.
Yeah.
Now a G major chord and an A major chord are both in the key of D. Okay. A is the 5 chord. G is the 4 chord. The notes in an A chord are really the upper extensions of G major 7. You got A is the 9th, C sharp is the sharp 11 or the Lydian sound, and E is the 13. So it's the upper extensions of a G major 7 chord, an A major triad. Now, if you just play it out of context, you almost need to play the G triad in there, or kind of go from one to the other, because you have to give it some grounding. If you just go into an A triad without having that, you need to have one of the chord tones of the G chord to give it, still keep that sound of the G chord. Like an A sus4 even would have the. Play a G major 7 chord. Right, or if I go, play it. Play it again. That gets more like modern, like Alan Holdsworth or people like that start using those kind of sounds. Play again. Again. It's really nice. That sharp 11's beautiful. Play it. You do even get really cool like Lydian kind of licks. Play it, Lord. Right, I'm just doing. What am I doing? Beautiful, right?
Yeah, it's great. Wait, what is this again?
I'm just using a G Lydian scale.
Is the G Lydian over this?
Yeah, but I'm thinking like A major triad in there. I'm playing a lot of A.
Okay.
I'm going D, B, which is the 5th to the 3rd of G major 7, and then to sharp 11. That's where part of there's an A major triad in that lick. And if you do it in a 2-5-1 context, so play
Right, same one.
3, 4. That was kind of a lame line again. 3, 4. What do I want to play? Or
I like that second one.
I can't remember.
I like that one note there, that one.
What note?
The, what is it? 8th, first.
Oh.
There. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, 3, 4. Something like that, you know. That way I'm only altering the one chord and making it a little bit more interesting. Okay, so that modal mixture is much more of an advanced concept that even people like John Scofield really don't do very much. It's like really advanced kind of thing. You don't really hear any guitar players doing it. Alan Holdsworth might do a little bit, but it's more of a keyboard kind of thing, yeah. Okay, chord substitution. Basically, all the stuff I was talking about, like an A minor 7 chord, right? Well, I can use, if I'm playing an A minor 7 chord and I'm playing, and there's a bass player and I'm playing behind a horn player or something, whatever, I can play A minor 7, C major 7, E minor 7.
These are all substitutions for A minor 7.
Yeah, exactly. You have what?
More of a simple question, but in like a 12-bar blues thing.
Right.
What kind of chord substitution can I use in that? Like
use a lot
either in the turnaround or the 1,
use a
4,
lot of
5.
A lot of chord substitutions. If I'm playing an F blues, right, like a jazz blues, I might be thinking. Bunch of different substitutions. The F7 to B flat chord, right? You go F7 the first bar. What is that? That's a 5-to-1 cadence. What do we know about 5-to-1 cadences? You can always alter the 5 chord to go to the 1 chord. Flat 9, sharp 9, flat 5, sharp 5. So I might play a lick that goes, I might play. I played it like it's an F7 flat 9. Or I can play like let me think here. Yeah, okay, let's say I'm playing like doing the same thing. A lot of times I'll think on the first bar, that's why I need to have this stuff written down to show it to you. It's better visually than me telling it to you. I put in a ton of chord substitutions in blues when I'm playing jazz blues. If you're playing rock blues, you want to be careful where you put in. The difference between jazz blues and rock blues is that in jazz blues, you have or bebop blues, you have many more chord changes. You're constantly doing 2-5-1 progressions, things like that, or 2-5 progressions, trying to make the chord progression more interesting and more complicated in a way. If I were to use some of these licks to just try and make my blues playing more interesting, I'd only use these certain scales in certain spots, like leading into the 5th measure, I'd play maybe an altered scale on the 1 chord going into the 4 chord. Make sense? Things like that. At the end of the chord progression, I'd play a 1-6-2-5 turnaround, which I was going to talk about. The 1-6-2-5 turnaround is the hardest progression to play on in jazz for most people. Songs like Rhythm Changes, that's like a style of song based on the 1-6-2-5-1 chord progression. That's like just a series of them in a row. It's very hard to improvise on for most people. That's what I say is the difference between a jazz player and a fusion player, is that fusion players can't play over rhythm changes because the chords happen too fast. And most of my college students, when I was teaching college, that was the thing that they had the biggest stumbling block over, so they could not learn how to improvise over rhythm changes. Rhythm changes usually they play in B flat. It'd be like.
So is that the name of the song?
Rhythm changes is a chord progression named after "I Got Rhythm" by George Gershwin. I got rhythm. It's like I got rhythm. You know that song?
No, but I love it.
Yeah, that's like the Andy Griffith theme in the Flintstones.
Mm-hmm.
Flintstones, meet the Flintstones.
Yeah.
That's based over rhythm changes. Tons and tons of songs are based over that chord progression.
That's 1625.
That's 1625. Well, it goes 1 6 2 5 3 6 2 5. 3 6 2 5 and 1 6 2 5 are the same thing.
Interchangeable.
Yeah, because the three chord is the sub for the one chord. As I said before, B flat major 7, D minor 7. D minor 7 is like a B flat major 9 chord because it's got the 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th. It's like a B flat major 9 chord. Make sense?
Yeah.
So it goes 1 6 2 5 3 6 2 5, and then you go 2 5 to the 4 chord, and then passing diminished 1 6 2 5. You follow? So it's a bunch. See, there's right in the A section. There's 3 1 6 2 5 progressions. So to improvise over it, it's very tricky. Like I'm playing 1 6 2 5 1 or 3. Then the bridge. So on and so forth. I made a couple mistakes there, but it's very tricky. B flat, G, C minor 7. Keep playing over 1 6 2 5.
Right.
That make sense?
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about that more next
Yeah,
time.
definitely.
One chord per measure. What did I play last time? 3 4. Not exactly what I played, but. Or, you know. Whatever. Ooh, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it was. Let's talk about a little chromaticism in some of these kind of Spanish type scales. All right, Alonzo. Now, like for an E7 chord, what I was doing there, you can fill in the space between the 5th and the 7th. You know. And I'm using the harmonic minor scale. And I just did a chromatic down to the 4th. So you got. Well, the diminished is in the harmonic minor scale. Let me make sure this is picked. Right? Any of these harmonic minor. So you can fill in.
Right. What was that?
Okay, so I'm using the harmonic minor scale, right? Mm-hmm. So here's my E7 chord. I'm sorry.
E7 flat 9.
Right,
Okay,
but
right.
4th or the 3rd of the chord. Up to the 5th.
Symmetrical.
Yeah, you can move the
Right,
chromatic.
right.
Okay, those are places to put chromatic notes in, but you can do different things like that.
Right.
Doing chromaticism, Alonzo, I'm going to put this on tape. What you want to do, you need to really think about the individual chords. You just can't play chromatic notes anywhere. You got to think of what chord you're on at the time. If I'm on a C major 7, if I'm playing different chromaticism than I am when I'm playing on a E7 chord. I played like mixed Lydian.
Mixed Lydian on the E7.
Yeah. Or that would be different. That's more like harmonic minor. It all depends on the function of the chord too. And you're playing. What you're doing?
Yeah, that's it.
It's almost like this tune "Spain" by Chick Corea. Do you ever hear that song?
Nothing. It's very common progression.
Yeah, it's like a
That was
song.
actually.
What's that?
That was getting into something similar.
Oh, cool.
Some standards.
Yeah, that's a cool song. But for an A minor chord or something.
Yeah, for like a minor set. Like in the context of that.
In the context of that, well, when you're playing over it, what scale are you using?
Well, I'm using the natural minor and harmonic minor.
Okay, for example, play for me. Let's see. Once again, I'm trying to think about how to explain it. I'll go from basically any place that there's a whole step, you can fill in the space.
Okay. Yeah, I like this.
Like I even do it in blues, like in the blues scale.
Yeah. What was that one note you did? Wait. You're doing a second, a flat second.
Yeah, like I'm doing like a A minor pentatonic.
Yeah. That's killer. Okay, what was that?
I went. If you're doing fast stuff, but I'm doing, playing A minor 7 chord. Play A minor
Right.
7. It's nice.
But in a blues, like in a dominant 7, would that sound good too? Or like a standard?
If I was doing blues thing, I might use this. I mean, I'd use like.
Right.
I'd use it also.
Okay, cool. Cool. Excellent.
Or.
Right.
That. Like that stuff is more for like dominant chords.
Yeah. Well, yeah, dominant chords for the blues.
Yeah.
Cool.
But really, like dominant chords are the things like when you're playing bebop things that you use it. Like when you're playing over like an A7 chord.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, cool.
So on dominant 7th chords that have altered fifths, like a sharp fifth, and a sharp 9 and a flat 9, or any combination of those, or a flat 5. If it has a sharp 5 in it, you have to use the altered dominant scale. If it has an altered 9th and a sharp 5, only the altered dominant scale is used on it. So like a D.
Why is that?
Because no other scale has the sharp 5 in it and has the sharp 9 and flat 9. Okay, so like G minor 11, that voicing that I just put down on the thing, which is right here, because of the way the intervals are in the chord, it really lends itself for beautiful sounding lines on it. There's a lot of nice intervals, and there's actually a theory behind that. Because this voicing, if you have a voicing that has, hold on, I'm going to give you a secret here, Alonzo. When you have a voicing like this, the way that the intervals are constructed in this chord form, there are half steps. Anytime you have a half step away from a chord voicing, right, like a chord tone, like here, a half step that's within the scale, let's say G Dorian is a scale for this. I've got the note A, which is a half step away from the B flat, and I have the note E, which is a half step away from the F. It gives really beautiful tension notes if you play them either in that register or up an octave. So play the chord. So here's the note A, and here's the note E, which is the 13. So you get the 9th and the 13th. So that's the E, that 13, the
Right.
13th is beautiful.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Sounds amazing inside chord. Play it again. Whoops. Do that. That's why I like to do things like this. I like to play like certain suspended chords, 11ths, things like that have really good sounding half steps, or that will have notes that are not in the chord that sound great against it. If you play this D sus4 chord, play that for me. Okay, so you play a D sus chord. The third sounds great against the suspended 4. So, play a chord. thing is used in jazz, like I use it on all different types of chords. Let's say I've got a major 13th chord like this, like F major 13. I got the notes F, E, A, D. D is the 13. It's a major 7th chord. That's why I call it a major 13.
Right.
It's really major 13 with no 5th. There's no C in it, right? So play that chord. Again. That note C sharp is a half step below the D. It's a sharp 5, really. So let's say you're playing like a 2-5-1 progression.
Yeah.
G minor 11. I got a G minor 11. I'm playing my. So play G minor 11. This chord that we were just playing before.
Oh yeah, right.
Right? So I do my cool Dorian thing, cool intervals. And then C7 flat 9.
Right here.
Yeah. To F major 13. Really beautiful. And I'm using it against the sharp 5.
Yeah.
So play the G minor 11. This is when you're really getting really cool tensions.
Yeah.
And then the C. Yeah, it's really, really cool. Very. That's very modern jazz kind of stylings. But like I said, I use this in in our songs and stuff all the time, and kind of don't know why they have a certain sound to it, but it gives it a certain quality. As for bossa nova, is basically you got to alternate between the root and the fifth. Sometimes it's the root and the flat fifth. Let's say you're doing
Okay.
Girl from Ipanema.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Then
Right.
sometimes like if you're doing like Chord Substitution.
Right. Yeah. I want to learn it. Are you
Sometimes you don't have to alternate the bass notes. It's more about the feel.
Yeah,
But the bass thing is like alternating. Alternating between the root and the fifth.
So it's root and fifth pretty much?
Yeah.
That's it?
Unless you have a half diminished chord.
Right.
Then you go to the flat fifth.
Okay. Is a half diminished and flat 7 the same thing? Or isn't this
Half diminished is a minor 7 flat 5.
right? I just
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, Alonzo. Let's talk about substitutions here. Well, let's talk about what you should do with all the things you are first. Okay, I wrote the root 6 and root 5 chords. What I want you to do is work on just a basic accompaniment, what we call rhythm guitar accompaniment. What rhythm guitar is, this really happened in the big band era, where people like Freddie Green, played in Count Basie's orchestra, would do rhythm guitar. Basically, it's like 4 short quarter notes per measure. So on and so forth. That is rhythm guitar. Just straight, short quarter notes, all downstrokes. So on and so forth.
piece.
That was all
okay,
feature,
cool.
yeah. Kind of sped up halfway through it. Now, other types of substitutions. You have tritone substitutions. That's when you substitute a dominant chord, a tritone away from another dominant chord. Okay? Anytime you have a 5-to-1 cadence, you can substitute the dominant chord, a tritone away from the diatonic dominant chord. For example, in the first line of All Things You Are, you have an E-flat 7 chord resolving to A-flat major 7. That's a 5-1 cadence. Well, you can make an A13, for example, or an A7. That A7 is a sub. It's basically like playing E7 flat 9, E-flat 7 flat 9. Can you see that E-flat? You see that chord here? This
Yeah.
is E-flat 7. See how it's right in that chord?
Right.
That's the tritone substitute. And like A13 is the same as doing E-flat 7 sharp 9. See? Make sense?
Yeah.
It's called a tritone substitute.
Okay.
Now, when you do a tritone sub, you can also put the 2 chord in front of it. So you can put a 2 chord in front of the 5 chord, in front of the tritone sub. So let's say you do this chord progression. B flat minor 7. There's a tritone sub. I put an A flat or A13 in there as a sub for. But you can go.
Is that 2-5-1 there?
Yeah, I did a 2-5-1. I did E minor 7, E minor 9 to A13. So that's a 2 chord to that 5 chord. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
It's called 2ing the 5. It's like a jazz
So-
lingo there.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna write this down.
Okay. It goes in between the two.
Yeah. 3 main modal scales that or modal groupings are major, which you know those modes: Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixed Lydian, Aeolian, Locrian. Then melodic minor, which are melodic minor, Dorian flat 2, Lydian augmented, Mixed Lydian sharp 11, Mixed Lydian flat 6, Locrian natural 2, and alter dominant. Then you have the modes of the harmonic minor scale, which are harmonic minor, Locrian natural 6, Ionian augmented, Dorian sharp 4, Phrygian major, Lydian sharp 9, and alter dominant double flat 7. Those are the 7 modes of the harmonic minor. Then you have modes of like the diminished scale. There are 2 modes, which are tonic diminished and dominant diminished. Tonic diminished starts with a whole step and it goes whole, half, whole, half, whole, half, whole, half. And dominant diminished starts with a half step. Half, whole, half, whole, half, whole, half, whole. Okay? So. Alonzo, for dominant chords, just play the melodic minor scale a half step above the root of the dominant chord, and that gives you the alter dominant scale. Right?
Yep.
For dominant chords, you can play the melodic minor scale a fifth above the root of the chord, and that'll give you mixed Lydian sharp 11 scales. That's good for blues and stuff. So let's say you've got A7 chord that you're jamming on.
Yeah.
Right? Play A7. If you go to the 4 chord, let's say you're playing a blues, and I have to go to A melodic minor, that would give me D mixed Lydian sharp 11. You have to keep changing melodic minor scales every time you have a dominant chord if you want to keep using that mixed Lydian sharp 11 scale.
That would be the
That
D.
would
What
sound-
the D mixed Lydian sharp 11.
D mixed Lydian sharp 11 would be A melodic minor. So play that now.
Yeah. This one.
Yeah. A flat, A7, I mean?
Yeah, right.
E7. Now here, just how much
go
go
to E7 one?
Okay, go to E7. And then
Ready?
I thought you were gonna go E7.
I was
there.
going to. I wasn't sure.
Go ahead.
Ready? I'll do it again.
I thought you were going to E7 there.